In factories across the globe, millions of Pop-Tarts are crafted with precision and speed, delighting breakfast tables and snack lovers alike. But how does this iconic treat go from simple ingredients to the perfectly frosted rectangles that we all know and love? Well, today we'll step behind the scenes of one of the most advanced snack production lines ever created. Whether you're a fan of the classic strawberry or you go for wilder flavors, this is the story of how Pop-Tarts are made on a jaw-dropping scale. Get ready for an eye-opening tour of a factory that's changing the way that we think about food production. Let's go! All right, let's rewind to the early 1960s, a time when breakfast was all about convenience and cereal reigned supreme. But over at Post, one of Kellogg's fiercest competitors, a groundbreaking idea was brewing. Post had developed a clever process for dehydrating food and sealing it in foil to keep it fresh. Originally for dog food, of all things, but then they saw an opportunity. Why not use this technology to revolutionize breakfast? The result? Well, a toaster-ready pastry that they called Country Squares. In 1964, Post proudly announced their innovation to the press. But there was a catch. They weren't ready to launch just yet. And that is when Kellogg's smelled an opportunity. Not wanting to be outdone, Kellogg's sprang into action. They hired Bill Post, a former Keebler employee, to spearhead the mission. The clock was ticking, but in just 4 months, Kellogg's had their own toaster pastry ready to roll out. Originally called fruit scones, the name didn't quite stick and have the sparkle that they were looking for. Then, inspiration struck. Why not ride the wave of the pop art movement that was sweeping the culture? And just like that, Pop-Tarts were born, a playful, catchy name that hinted at the fun and convenience the product promised. When Pop-Tarts hit the shelves in 1964, it was love at first bite. The first 4 flavors, strawberry, blueberry, brown sugar cinnamon, and apple currant, later renamed appleberry, were a hit. In fact, they were so popular that Kellogg couldn't keep up with demand. The first shipment sold out in just 2 weeks, leaving store shelves bare. Kellogg even ran ads apologizing for the shortage, which only fueled the frenzy further. Fun fact, those ads didn't just apologize, they became an accidental masterclass in marketing. By highlighting their overwhelming popularity, Kellogg's made Pop-Tarts even more irresistible to the public. The original Pop-Tarts were actually unfrosted. Why? Because no one had figured out how to make a frosting that could survive a trip through the toaster. But by 1967, Kellogg's cracked the code, debuting the first frosted Pop-Tarts to the delight of fans everywhere. And in 1968, they took things up a notch by adding sprinkles to some flavors, making the pastries not just tasty, but visually fun too. By the 1990s, Pop-Tarts had crossed the Atlantic, landing in the UK with flavors like Chocotastic and Strawberry Sensation. They've since become a staple in pantries around the world, loved for their versatility and nostalgic charm. Fast forward to today, and Pop-Tarts have become a flavor worldwide. With over 24 standard varieties, there's something for everyone, whether you're into classic strawberry or adventurous creations like Hot Fudge Sundae and s'mores. The journey of every Pop-Tart starts with the foundation, the dough. It might seem simple, but don't be fooled. Behind this creation lies a symphony of science, precision, and engineering. Step into the heart of the factory where industrial magic begins. The recipe is surprisingly straightforward. Enriched wheat, flour, water, sugar, salt, and fat, typically a blend of palm oil and shortening. Now, these ingredients may sound basic, but their combination is the key to creating the flaky, sturdy base of every Pop-Tart. In a factory this size, you can forget measuring cups. Here, ingredients are precisely weighed to the gram and loaded into mixers the size of small cars. These behemoths churn with powerful paddles, blending the ingredients with exacting precision. The goal? To create a dough that's soft and pliable, yet firm enough to maintain its iconic rectangular shape through baking and filling. But here's where the process becomes an art. Mixing is a balancing act. Too much and the dough becomes tough and difficult to handle. Too little and it won't have the structure needed for those sharp and clean edges. Every step is timed to perfection, and even the temperature of the mixture is meticulously controlled to ensure consistency. Massive paddles churn the blend until it transforms into a smooth and slightly elastic mass. Once the dough is ready, it's divided into manageable portions and prepared for the next step in the journey. The journey starts with giant sheeter machines, equipped with rollers so massive they could double as tree trunks. These machines flatten the dough into thin, even sheets, each to just a few millimeters thick. This precise thickness isn't random, it's a carefully calculated balance. Too thin and the dough won't hold the filling, and too thick and it overpowers the sweet center. Sensors are hard at work here, monitoring every sheet's thickness, width, and consistency. These tiny guardians ensure that every batch meets the strict Pop-Tart standard, delivering the perfect base for what's to come. On the other side of the factory, the filling takes shape. Each flavor, whether it's strawberry, brown cinnamon sugar, or s'mores, starts with its own unique recipe. The basics? A blend of fruits or chocolate, sugar, corn syrup, and stabilizers like pectin for fruit fillings. Real fruit purees are mixed with artificial flavors to amplify that signature Pop-Tart taste, creating a balance of authenticity and indulgence. This sweet concoction is cooked in enormous vats, gently heated and stirred to achieve the perfect glossy texture. But the temperature is critical. If it's too hot, the sugars caramelize and alter the flavor. Too cold, and the filling becomes too thick to flow properly. Once it reaches the ideal viscosity, the filling is stored in insulated tanks, waiting to meet its doughy counterpart. Now comes the fascinating part: assembly. The filling is piped through high-speed nozzles that pump out precise dollops onto the bottom layer of dough. Each portion is measured to the milligram, ensuring every Pop-Tart delivers the exact same gooey, flavorful bite. These machines are marvels of precision, moving faster than the eye can follow while maintaining perfect accuracy. Here's a fun fact: a single nozzle can deposit hundreds of dollops per minute, and there are dozens of these nozzles working in unison on the production line. Once the filling is in place, it's time for the top layer. Another sheet of dough is carefully unrolled over the filling, a surprisingly delicate step. These machines gently lay the second layer down to avoid compressing the filling. Then, the two layers pass through a series of rollers, which press them together just enough to create a tight seal around each pocket of sweet goodness. This step ensures that the Pop-Tarts don't leak during baking and keep their iconic rectangular shape. It's a seamless blend of engineering and artistry, setting the stage for the next phases: baking and decorating. Here's where things get fascinating. After the dough's been filled, specialized crimping machines step in to perform a special task. Now, these machines press down on each pocket of filling, sealing the edges and forming that iconic rectangular shape we all know and love. But it's not just about looks, it's a vital step to ensure the filling doesn't leak out during baking. Next, tiny perforations are poked into the top layer of the dough. Why? To let steam escape during baking. Without these little vents, the pastries might puff up like balloons or even burst in the oven. A Pop-Tart disaster we're sure no one wants to see. Once crimped and cut, any leftover dough, called trim, is recollected, kneaded, and then sent back through the sheeter on the next batch. This zero-waste approach ensures that nothing goes to waste, keeping production both efficient and eco-friendly. Now comes the baking, arguably the most critical stage of the process. The pastries, now fully assembled, are loaded onto an endless conveyor belt and whisked onto a tunnel oven that's as long as a basketball court. These industrial ovens operate at blazing temperatures, typically between 400 degrees Fahrenheit and 500 degrees, carefully calibrated depending on the flavor and dough composition. Inside the oven, hot air circulates around the pastries to ensure even baking. The edges turn a perfect golden brown, the dough firms up, and the filling thickens ever so slightly as it heats. Sensors along the conveyor track the temperature and moisture levels to maintain consistency, while sharp-eyed workers monitor the line for any pastries that might have split or burned. And the aroma at this stage? Absolutely mouth-watering. Imagine a heavily blend of warm pastry, caramelized sugar, and fruity filling wafting through the air. It's the kind of smell that can make you wish that factories came with visitor tasting rooms. Once baked to perfection, the pastries cool down on the conveyor before heading to their next destination, the frosting station. The frosting, a precisely engineered mix of powdered sugar, water, and stabilizers, is kept at just the right temperature. Why? To maintain its perfect viscosity. Too thick and it won't spread smoothly. Too thin and it won't set properly. It's a delicate balance that ensures that every Pop-Tart gets its signature glossy finish. Enter the precision nozzles, machines that act like master pastry chefs, applying the frosting in smooth, even ribbons across the top of each pastry. Watching it flow is mesmerizing, almost like watching an artist paint with sugary perfection. But the show doesn't stop there. For flavors adorned with sprinkles like the iconic frosted strawberry or wild berry, the timing becomes critical. As the freshly frosted Pop-Tarts move along the conveyor, they pass under sprinkling machines. These high-tech gadgets rain down colorful bits of sugar onto the wet frosting. Why while it's still wet? Well, because if the frosting sets too quickly, the sprinkles won't stick. And let's face it, a sprinkleless Pop-Tart just won't have the same pizzazz. Here's a fun fact. The sprinkling machines are so precise that they can deposit hundreds of thousands of sprinkles per hour without a single grain out of place. Once decorated, the pastries enter a rigorous quality control checkpoint. Cameras equipped with cutting-edge AI algorithms scan each Pop-Tart for defects. They check for uneven frosting, off-center filling, or even tiny cracks on the edges. If a Pop-Tart doesn't meet the high standards, it's redirected and reworked to ensure perfection in every bite. It's not just a process, it's a performance. By the time Pop-Tarts leave this stage, they're more than just a snack. They're an edible work of art, ready to bring a little joy to breakfast tables everywhere. Once the frosting has dried and the sprinkles have settled, the Pop-Tarts begin their final journey in the factory: packaging and distribution. But don't let the simplicity of a shiny pouch and colorful box fool you. This stage is packed with fascinating details and meticulous care. The process kicks off with a brilliant pairing system. Pop-Tarts are neatly matched up 2 by 2 and sent through sophisticated foil wrapping machines. These machines seal them into the iconic shiny pouches that have become as recognizable as the pastries themselves. But the foil isn't just for show. It's engineered to keep the Pop-Tarts as fresh as the day they were made. How? Well, each pouch is flush with nitrogen before sealing, pushing out oxygen and locking in freshness by creating a perfect little environment for the pastries. And here's a fun fact. Did you know that these foil pouches can keep a Pop-Tart fresh for up to 12 months? That's right, whether you're munching on them now or saving them for a future breakfast emergency, they'll taste just as delicious. After sealing, the Pop-Tarts are carefully grouped into their vibrant retail boxes. But it doesn't end there. Workers play a crucial role in maintaining Kellogg's high standards by inspecting random samples on hand. They check everything from the filling consistency to the seal integrity, ensuring that only the best Pop-Tarts make it to store shelves. What happens to the rare ones that don't pass inspection? They don't go to waste. Depending on the issue, these Pop-Tarts might be reprocessed onto other products, used in experimental batches, or even, lucky for some, snacked on by workers during their breaks. Once approved, the boxed Pop-Tarts are sealed, labeled, and loaded onto pallets, ready to embark on their next leg of the journey. These pallets are then shipped to warehouses, where they're sorted and distributed to stores around the globe. And that's how millions of Pop-Tarts are made every day. From dough to delivery, it's a fascinating journey powered by cutting-edge technology. What's your favorite Pop-Tart flavor? Well, let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks at the coolest production lines on the planet. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.